Hey you guys, hope everybody's doing good. God bless you. Have a blessed day and a blessed life in Jesus. Okay, here's the deal. I told you I would do an update. Numerous people asked for it on the Oklahoma beatdown. Before I get started, I'll just tell you that I should be doing a video within the next week or less about myself that a lot of people have asked me to do. If you like it, watch it. If you don't, it's okay. Anyway, here's the deal. I did talk to News Now OKC. I did not talk to Picture Perfect, but I got the information I needed from OKC. When they saw the videos and the information that the man gave to Picture Perfect, they took it at face value. They believed it was absolutely totally correct, and they were on his side. They found out later that there were some other elements to it. Now they both agree that the police are still in the wrong. The police still acted out and acted unlawfully. That's my conclusion of what they said. Everybody makes mistakes. If somebody seen a man punch a woman in the face, they would go ballistic too. I probably would too. I say that man's beating that woman and gets crazy. But on the other hand, you don't know that maybe just before that the woman pulled a knife on him or a gun or something. So things ain't always as they seem. But anyway, with that said, I reviewed the video again and again and again, probably a dozen times. I've looked at other alleged videos from different angles and so forth and so on. I listened to the 911 call. So the guy that's calling the police is trying to stir the pot really heavy. Okay? I mean, he's trying to acerbate the situation that was at a 5 or a 6 up to a 9 or 10. Okay? So he could get rapid police response and have them keyed up upon arrival. But he's talking about the guy threatening. So the dispatcher, to his credit, says, threatening how? Then he changes and says belligerent. Okay, well, belligerent has a lot of different levels. Then as they talk, it kind of comes out a little bit more. So I gathered from the call, if I'd got the call, if I'd been listening to the call, I'd have said, okay, he's agitated and he's angry because a customer has put up a fuss. Okay, no need for police over a fuss or a simple little disagreement. A civil issue, not a criminal issue. And that woman, Walmart doesn't have this policy that she alleges. I've called and I've checked, and corporate says no, that's not their policy. If a child or another person picks up the alcohol and puts it on the counter for you, they've handled it, then they have some reason to ask for ID of that person, but no other child or no other person with you. So she did wrong. So she set off a chain of events. So she's what we used to call in law enforcement the first overt act or the first action. So she created the upset. He had a right to be outraged. He had a right to raise a little cane. Okay? Now when the police arrive, and if she said, well, I told him he's trespassing, he was wanting to go, and the police did not allow him to go, then they're creating a situation to escalate. In other words, if they said, well, they don't want you here, you got to go, and he said, okay, and he left, that would have been it. Okay? They can't arrest him on a misdemeanor that she alleges happened. They would have to file information on that to the district attorney, and the district attorney would have to decide if a warrant would issue. He'd get a notice to appear in court on a low-grade misdemeanor of disturbing the peace. So they escalated it. They pushed it. You could see them talking back and forth to each other like, how are we gonna write this in the report? How are we gonna do this, that, and the other? I have tried to find his attorney and talk to his attorney, which I know there's attorney-client privilege, but maybe he could just answer a couple questions like he did on a video. And I've talked to the VA. I got a friend that knows some things. And they say that they can't give out specific information about him or any other member due to HIPAA. I understand that. But he did explain to me that sometimes somebody has a 20% or 100% service-connected disability, and it is on the date they're discharged or they take a medical retirement, it's based on this disability. Sometimes it's a partial, and after they get out it gets worse and it goes to permanent. Said perhaps this guy that I was talking about, perhaps he had a psychological disability and a physical, or a full psychological, or a full physical. Well, according to his attorneys, he has the papers that says that he is 100% disabled veteran, and that he did have a motor vehicle accident in the military. And from what I can gather, and what I believe, and of course the man can call me or contact me or his attorney if I'm wrong, and I'll correct the record immediately. So this is a conclusion, that he had some accident or incident that either made him disabled when he left the military or partially disabled, and over time it become a permanent disability due to a service-connected or service-related accident. Now, the people they called that was his friends, or not his friends, but they was in the military with him, well, people in the military will say somebody's a doo-doo bird. Means they get in a lot of trouble, they create drama or issues, and they don't like them. But they actually don't do nothing bad. They're just a pain in the butt because they have a peculiar personality or something that they don't like about them. Okay, same thing happens with cops, teachers, plumbers, electricians, whatever group you're in. Sometimes if you don't fit in the clique, you can become an outcast, and so everybody talks bad about you. But from what the attorney said, he's a licensed officer of the court, so I'll take his word that he does have an honorable DD 214, and that it was a service disability. And my understanding is that he's not completely paralyzed from that. He has partial paralyzation, meaning that at times he can't walk. At times he can't stand long or walk far. So being partially paralyzed or fully paralyzed, that would take a doctor to tell you. But the military has specific diagnosis or diagnostic codes that say permanently, partially paralyzed, permanently 100% paralyzed. So that would mean that you had limited use, partially paralyzed. So you can have a problem with a nerve or a disc or muscles or neuron transmitters that aren't working, so your legs or your arm or whatever doesn't work completely. But it does work. And so you have to use a walker, a wheelchair, crutches, other things. But then at other times you can walk, but you walk limitedly. You may be having a good day and can walk further. So I think that the only thing that this man probably may have exaggerated or may have put out there was to what extent his physical service-connected disability was. So he didn't lie when he said he was a disabled vet. He is, according to his own attorney. However, some of it may be psychological. And that would explain that when the woman pushed and pushed about doing this stuff and he said, no, it's not necessary, she triggered him. And he was still in a triggered state when the police come, and the police are supposed to be professional and allow him an opportunity to leave the store, which they didn't. And they didn't have no right to ID him. So they keep saying, well, we're giving you a lawful order. Well, if somebody says, well, I'm telling you to go whack somebody, it's a lawful order. It ain't a lawful order just because they say it's a lawful order. They're trained to say that. So police are found to give unlawful orders just as much as they give lawful orders. That would be up to a judge to decide if it was a lawful order. Now, He knows he doesn't have to ID, so he wasn't going to do that. He knows that they can't arrest him on a misdemeanor based on somebody else's statement that they didn't witness. So they tried to escalate it and twist it and turn it to get the advantage over him to, quote, put a lawful arrest on him. I've shown this to other police officers and had them look at it, and they said, that wouldn't fly around here. I'd lose my job, or they would get me for false imprisonment, false arrest. I'd be out of a job. A couple of cops said, well, I ain't going to try and second guess them. I wouldn't do it, but, they wouldn't quite go as far. But I'm saying 80% of the cops I showed it to said these were bad cops. The other 20%, nobody actually said, oh, the cops were justified. Nobody said that. But, there's people out there that believe that way, and they're going to defend them no matter what. They've been taught and trained since kindergarten, cops are their friends and cops are good. There are a lot of good cops out there. There's also a lot of bad cops. And then there's a lot that's, technically satisfactory, maybe. Or they're on the edge. Anyway, this is the follow-up video. I've got a lot of emails about it. And I got a lot of comments. And I'd say so far 90, 93, 94% have been positive. Outside of a few trolls and naysayers and an activist hater or certain cops that are their buddies and friends that, automatically come give you a thumbs down or say nasty stuff or whatever. Outside of that, real legitimate people, it's running 90, 93%, 92, 91%. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I want to thank everybody for subbing to me. I want to thank everybody for viewing me, everybody for helping me out. And I've answered all my emails. And I only got one last to answer, and I'm waiting for a phone number to answer that email. So I am who I say I am. What you see is what you get. And I got my papers to prove it. But I don't like to be bullied or pressured into doing things. That just makes me dig in my heels and not do it. I'm just that kind of guy. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Now, if people had approached me the right way and asked for things, one, I probably would have shown it. But two, I've learned a lesson. Anything that I share with anybody seems to wind up on the internet, and it's misappropriated, misused, twisted, turned, and contorted. So this internet can be a beautiful thing, but it can be also dangerous. So I only let certain people see my papers, like Supreme Court officials, certain bar associations. They know it's the real deal. And the other people know, because certain government officials was concerned because certain people falsely alarmed them. But they went and checked the records out and found I was legit. Okay, God bless y'all and have a great day. And if you can help my PayPal, I appreciate it. Help my channel here. Help my family. Help my church. Help me do my journalistic work and reporting to you. My thoughts, analysis, whatever. If you like it, donate $1 or $2. If you don't, then don't. Donations are a free will gift. I thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.